Well, hello again. We are back. This is Beyond Words. We're a ministry called YWAM Beyond, and we're here to serve those that are beyond the base. And our goal is to help translate the amazing things we learned within YWAM and the teachings and the training into life outside of the base. And so, yeah, we brought in Darlene Cunningham to ask her some questions, get some wisdom from her. How you doing, Darlene?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Glad to be with you.
I don't know if I need to do any intro of Darlene Cunningham if you are with YWAM, but Darlene is the co-founder of Youth with a Mission. She travels all over the world teaching on leadership and on a number of different topics, as well as just a carrier of faith. And so that actually, I think, is something we want to pick her brain on is, you know, perhaps having faith in uncertain times. What's the question, Dan? What's the question for us?
Yes. We've thought through this and thought, oh man, what would a good question be for you, Dar? And yeah, there's so much uncertainty in the world right now. And whether it's those of us in ministry or those who are in the spheres working, there's one of the particular things that I know all of us are facing is a bit of financial uncertainty. Some of us have, right. So some of us have, I know whether it's myself or others have lost some support. And then I know people have lost jobs and are unemployed right now. And there's just a lot of big questions. And, one thing I know that you and Lauren specifically and YWAM as a whole has walked through is a lot of financial uncertainty at times of where is this going to come from? And we thought, man, we would love your wisdom on that, of just any wisdom on how to navigate financial uncertainty.
Yes.
Well, it's a really good and relevant question. We just had a budget meeting.
Perfect.
And I think the thing that's particularly difficult about this season is how it came so fast. Mm-hmm. So all your plans, all your normal ways of your budgets being covered, everything that you've always depended on, it's gone. And that's true for you in your employment. You've had a regular paycheck that's come, suddenly that's not available to you. Or if your particular paycheck is still coming in, the business that you're working with now is having difficulty giving that paycheck to you because the resources that they depended on in order for profit now have changed. Now, there's some businesses that haven't been touched, but actually there's not very many. Mm-hmm. So as we were facing all this tremendous uncertainty for us in the future I'll talk about YWAM campus now.
Yeah. I
rehearsed back in my own mind. I thought, Lord, this is just like the beginning. Well, we didn't know how we were going to feed people. We had absolutely no idea where our next meals were going to be coming from. And you proved yourself faithful then over and over and over again. Why would you change now? And I find my greatest comfort comes in moving back to everything I know about the character of God. That our God is absolutely faithful. That where he guides, he will provide. That he knows where I'm at and he knows our circumstance. And he is there at all times. And we have a new opportunity to prove God great at a whole different level. Because in the beginning days, it was just setting up and trying to find food to feed the 100 of us that were there. We didn't have tremendous amount of buildings and resources and all the rest of it. We were maybe living in tents, but it was all just the same. You either have it or you don't have it.
Whoa.
And either God's in charge or he's not in charge. And my moving into the worry mode is absolutely so fruitless. And we have to, for me, the thing that on a personal basis always helps me is, God, are there any action steps that you would have us take? And nearly always, guys, the action step in this area of finances in particularly is an act of generosity.
Wow.
So in the midst of our need, last week here in Kona, we had Heidi Baker from the Iris Ministries come on with the tremendous need that they have in Mozambique. And we took up an offering amongst all of us that are here. And when I say all of us, that's only a couple hundred people. We actually have less people living on the Kelowna campus now than when we entered. It's never had so many people.
Wow.
But we took up an offering, and just yesterday I found out that offering was $19,000.
No way.
Wow.
But that's a much bigger offering than we would have on a normal, let's say, community night.
Yeah.
And it was our, and I thought, God, this is what we have to do. We can't just think, oh, we have about ourselves. We have to always think of others. And many times God will be saying to you, I want you in this time. You need generosity towards you. I want you to up your spirit of generosity. And God will give you those acts to do. Everything he's going to do for us now, there's just a whole lot of things that we're going to have to cut back on.
Yeah.
Things we're just looking at all of that. What is it that we just won't use during this time? What is it that we just say, hey, that was nice, but in order to be provided for, that one's going to have to go. And that will be a whole new look at things. And probably in the long run, that's going to be one of the best things for us.
Yes.
Can
I jump in here?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to highlight a couple things just as we go. Number one, remember, I hear you saying.
Yes.
You're saying remember when God has provided for you in the past. It's such an important thing to remember. Number two, act in the opposite spirit. So when you feel worry coming on about, am I going to have enough? Give. That is a great one, you know? And then, I think I hear where you're going with this next one is this is actually a gift to us. It might not seem like a gift, but at the end of the day, to be in need is a gift. And I think that's actually one of the most beautiful things about YWAM. The way that we are postured always is in need. And we don't have big, huge benefactors that provide for us all the time, but it actually postures us in a way that, we actually need to remember the Lord in this. And so anyway, keep going.
Well, I think in this rehearsing of what God's given us, in the Old Testament, they've stacked up the stones. And the purpose of those stones was to say, when the kids saw the stones, they were supposed to say, hey, Papa, how come those stones are here? And Papa was to remember, it was because I was not to forget to tell you the great things that God has done in this place.
Yes.
And I find myself in these days with that stack of stones really often. God, I remember when I stood at the back of the campus and the vendors were coming in and I didn't know how we were going to pay for it. And I can remember just being so afraid to the person that was bringing us the vegetables to say, I am sorry, I don't have your full payment.
Wow.
And that was the hardest thing for me because I knew he had to feed his children. Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Cunningham. We're going to be fine for a little longer. You're always careful. You'll always pay us. And actually, I have some extra for you this week.
Wow.
And over again, the very thing I most feared was the disappointment that this man would think, well, we were so irresponsible. And instead, he was generous towards us. And sometimes we think, oh, I got to protect our reputation, the reputation. Well, let's let God do that. And let us be absolutely faithful. And he provides in all kinds of ways that we never thought possible. We always think we need the money.
Yeah.
He will provide in a way we've never had before. Maybe he will provide with the things rather than the money. And we've seen that happen certainly in this area of food. But we've seen it happen in other ways too, where we thought, oh, we had to have this particular kind of building and so on in order to be able to function. And we soon find out we can handle a tent. We can do that. And actually, as most of you know here, we have loads of tents. They've now told us that we can no longer use those tents.
Oh, man.
Yeah, another blow right at this time.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So we have a lot of new kind of challenges. And I was reminded myself the other day of this particular time. And we were praying about the new students and the staff that are to come back. And God said to me, I'm going to bring the warriors. And I was reminded of the time when we were waiting to get on the Kona campus. And I knew we were going to get into the hotel this time. I was so sure of it that I had made the luggage tags to go for the new students to show them where they were going to go in the hotel. Wow. And 2 weeks before, it was unjustly awarded to another person rather than to one. And I can remember going to the airport saying, if you feel like we've misrepresented ourselves, we'll help you go back home. But we're going to go live in tents. And I remember thinking, how will we help them go back home? But I knew it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And do you know, not one person chose to go back. And they were the strongest people you could have ever had. And they were the people that helped us take the land when we came into the new place. And so even in this place of adversity, when it's not anything like what we want, God's building a people. We're looking to have our budget built, but God's building a people. He's building our character, and he's building the character of the co-workers and the people we're going to work with. And I think out of this adversity, friends, is going to come creativity like we've not seen before. Look at all the great things we're seeing happening online. Don't you love these cell phone choirs?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is.
It's absolutely amazing. So in the midst of this adversity, it shows us our character. It shows us that, but it gives us new levels of creativity. And it's going to, in this time, it's also going to strengthen our walk with God.
Wow. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Some of us have gotten a bit comfortable. Well, we don't have to lean on him like we did at the very beginning days. Well, honey, I'm right back there again.
Yes.
God's absolutely great.
God seems to do that, right? He brings back lessons and takes us deeper into that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The takeaway that I'm hearing is that we're praying for these breakthroughs and things like that, but in our minds sometimes we put these, this is what it's going to look like, but really it could look totally different, and really the underlying goal is that God wants us to be closer to him. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. And we're saying, prove yourself great in the way that'll give you the most glory. Not I have to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 like I've always had. I think this is where this new creativity is going to come in. This new evaluation of what does he want to do and how does he want to do it. We're proving in great new ways now. We're gonna, at least in our situation here in the Kona campus, we have.
Yeah, amen.
Absolutely.
I feel that too.
Well, I'm in the, unfortunately, goodness, I feel like we could continue this conversation for so long, but our time is coming to an end. But I have 2 questions I want to leave to those just in response to this for anyone listening. Number 1, just take some time and ask the question, is there anything God might be asking me to remember? Those stones of remembrance, like Dar mentioned. Any times of provision, anything where maybe that we've forgotten that God wants us to bring back, just to put in front of us at this time. And then also, how can we respond right now in the opposite spirit? And how can we respond specifically if it's in financial terms, in generosity? And so again, thank you, Dar. We are so grateful. This has been fun.
So much.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. Until next time. Thanks everybody for jumping on. We'll see you later.
See ya.
See you.